What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Arnold Telagaarta here, and welcome back to my channel. So as you guys can tell from the title of this video, this is a story time video, and some of you guys have heard the story before many times in the past, but I never made a specific dedicated video to the story. It's always been inside of a Q&A or inside of another video, but I think I want to make a dedicated video telling you guys this story. So like the title says, I'm going to be talking about my parents' house and how it's haunted. So a little bit of a background story. Back when I was still living with my parents, we moved in to a spanking brand new house. It just got built. No one lived there before. We moved in there in 2007. In fact, the whole neighborhood was new. So before the house was built, it was just an empty lot. We moved in and everything was all fine and dandy, but things started happening like immediately. I want to say within the first 2 weeks of us living there, every other day, I would wake up with sleep paralysis. Now, if you guys don't know what sleep paralysis is, there's a scientific definition for it, but basically, what it is that you wake up, right, and you feel like you're awake, your eyes are open, you're looking around your room, but for some reason you don't have control of your body. It feels like something or like some type of force is holding you down. You can't talk, you can't really move, and you just feel like you're trapped. Again, a lot of people believe that there's a scientific explanation to it, but there's also people who believe that whenever that happens, they think that it's either like a demon or a spirit sitting on you or holding you down. Either way, it's just not a good experience. But I was experiencing that within the first 2 weeks of living there, probably like every other day, which is a tiring way to wake up. Again, you know, I kind of brushed it off because I've experienced sleep paralysis before back when I was a teenager, so I was just like, whatever, I didn't think much of it. Then, that's when things started to get real. One time, Heart was over and it was just me and her at home, and it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Me and her were chilling in my room. She was asleep, I was wide awake, and I was just chilling on the bed, you know, like sitting down like this, and the sun was out. Like, again, it was probably like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I was not half asleep, I was wide awake, so I was just chilling there in my room, and out of nowhere, in the middle of the room, I heard a little girl giggle. Yeah, that's definitely not cool. Like clear as day, like as if she was right there in the room. It wasn't even a faint sound, like it wasn't a little like, oh, did I just hear something? But no, it was so clear, it really felt like she was in the room, like right in the middle, giggling. But the crazy thing is, like when I heard that, I didn't feel scared. Like, you would think that would be my first, you know, like reaction, but I wasn't scared at all. Like when that happened, I was just kind of like, holy crap, like that just happened to me. I just experienced that. I was more fascinated than like scared, you know? The giggle was so clear, like as if she was right there in person, but the giggle, you can tell, like it wasn't, I didn't get an evil, like a bad vibe from it. It just felt very playful. So that happened, and as soon as Heart woke up, I told her about it, and it was really, really crazy. Now keep in mind, during this whole time when we moved in 2007, I was really into watching shows like Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, and I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. So I can't just keep that information to myself. I'm not the only one living at the house. My parents were living there and my cousin was living there as well. So obviously I didn't want to spook my parents, so I told my cousin, who's about like 2 years older than me, and I told him like, hey, listen man, I just heard a girl giggle in the middle of my room. And he was like, oh crap, that is crazy because I think I've been hearing the same girl outside of my room. Now his room, he's kind of like living in the pool house, like it's not connected to the house, so that's like where he's staying. I think that's actually a crazier experience. I'll be more scared if I was him. Imagine chilling in your room and like, you know, like it's not connected to the house and you hear a little girl giggling outside. Like that's scary. Whatever, we decided not to tell my parents. Everything was cool. And then a few weeks go by, and again, Heart was at my place, and we fell asleep and took a nap, and Heart experienced the same sleep paralysis. She fell asleep, but in the middle of the sleep, she felt that something was holding her down, and she also heard the little girl giggle. And when she woke up, Heart didn't tell me because she didn't want to spook me, because I was living inside the house and she's not. So she kept that info to herself for a little bit. But a few days later, she ended up telling me, and at that point I was like, alright, I gotta at least like tell my dad about it, because it's crazy. It's affecting me, it's affecting her, and it's affecting my cousin. Like, we can't just like sit on this information, you know what I mean? And plus, like, my dad's the type of person who, he believes in that stuff, but at the same time, he's not scared of it, you know? He's more scared of like humans, like burglars, like someone coming in. But when it comes to spirits, even though he believes in them, like he feels like he's untouchable. He wasn't shocked. I don't know if that's because he's been experiencing stuff, but he wasn't shocked, and he was just like, okay, the best thing to do is not to give it any attention at all. The more you talk about it, the more you give it attention, the more these type of activities will start to happen. So that's what we did. We stopped giving it attention. We went back to our normal day-to-day lives. I stopped watching shows like Ghost Adventures and Ghost Hunters, and it died down. So after that, I moved out of the house, but my cousin was still living in the house. And I would ask him from time to time, like, hey man, how's the house? Is everything okay? Has anything crazy happened? And unfortunately, he said yes. I was told that my cousin had a few of his friends over, and they were just hanging out, chilling in the living room, and one of his friends saw a black apparition from downstairs going up the stairs and into my old room. I mean, that's insane. I don't know what I would do if I saw that myself. I mean, like, it's one thing to hear something, but to actually see it, that's crazy. I was just thankful that I'm not there anymore, but thank God, like, even though my cousin is still in the house, like, the spirit or whatever that's inside the house is not like an evil spirit, you know, it's not harming him or anything like that. I moved out of the house, but from time to time I would visit, you know, Thanksgiving, visit my mom on holidays. And there's this one time, it was Thanksgiving, I want to say 2 years ago. Me and Hart were in my old room, and some of you guys actually were the ones that pointed it out. Hart was Snapchatting inside my room, and I was messing around with my old like Taekwondo nunchucks and stuff, and one of you pointed out that there was an orb floating around my room. And this is where the story gets really intriguing. I have a friend who's intuitive, and he's really sensitive when it comes to energies and things like that. So he saw that Snapchat, and he saw the orb floating around my room, and he told me that when he saw the orb, like, the name Elia came into his head. And he told me that spirit Elia is kind of like a protector of my room. And what this energy or spirit does is it protects the room from any bad spirits. And he also told me that he got a feeling that whatever is in my parents' house, spirit or the energy is well aware that that's my parents' home. You know what I mean? But it's also aware that it's also their space as well. It's almost like a mutual understanding that this is both our homes, we just won't bother each other. But he said something really crazy. He's like, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if whenever no one is home, I bet there's things that gets like knocked down or like moved around on its own, because he said that like my parents' house is filled with like a lot of furnitures, a lot of statues and stuff like that, and he said that it's hard for these spirits to like navigate their way around that. But I think it was last year, Josh came to visit me, and we couldn't kick it at my house because he brought his dog Shadow, and Junior gets like really jealous when it comes to other dogs. So we actually hung out at my parents' old house, and we actually slept over, and I think that was the first time that I slept over since I moved out. But sure enough, the next day I woke up and I experienced another sleep paralysis in that room. It wasn't as intense as before when I first moved into that house, where it was a struggle to wake up, but it was still pretty bad. I had a hard time kind of releasing my body to whatever force was like holding it down. But with that said, that was the last experience that I've ever felt in the house, because after that I was like, there's no way I'm ever sleeping in that house ever again. But again, I know a lot of you guys don't believe in this stuff, and I'm not trying to persuade you in either direction. You know, a lot of people believe in spirits, some people don't. It's all good. There's just so many stuff in this world that not a lot of people can explain. You know, we don't have the answer to everything because it is a big universe. So I'm just pretty open-minded about it. It could be spirits, it could be something else. I don't know, who knows. But that's it for the story time video. I hope I didn't creep you guys out too much. I know some of you guys are scared of these videos, but at the same time, I know a lot of you guys like them as well. So if you guys did like the story time video, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up and let me know down in the comment section below if you guys want me to do more of these. And again, for some of you that's heard the story many times before, I appreciate you guys being patient and listening to it again for the millionth time. But this is the last time I'm gonna be talking about it. unless something else happens. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll upload videos every single Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and don't forget to hit that notification button. I'll be replying to comments within the first 30 minutes of when the video goes up. I love you guys, and until then, I'll see you next time. And cut.
Wake up in the morning, fresh next to my bay, feeling my reflection, man, crush Monday. Got my swag on, yeah, you know me. Snapping IGOOT day. Sun on my face, got me feeling so blessed. Rolling on my ride, summertime in a vest. No shirt on, tattoos on my chest. Been waiting all week, TGIF.